Poltergeist. Does this Tobe Hooper, Steven Spielberg collaboration still live up to the hype and transcend through the ages of being one of the greatest horror movies of all time? We're about to find out. Hit the button. Let's get started. Poltergeist is a film about the Freelings, an average Southern California family which move into their new home where strange occurrences begin to happen. Quickly, they find out that the baffling yet harmless phenomenon is coming from ghosts. But the things get worse when the ghosts begin to play tricks on the family and abduct the youngest Freeling, Carol Ann, forcing the family to fight to get her back. Hey there, hi there, ho there, Andrew here, the horror host of Generations X, Y, and Z inside Davis Manor, where we find humor in horror, and this is where I share my love of horror and entertainment. I review TV shows, movies, I talk about my time working in the haunt industry, so if that sounds interesting, consider hitting the subscribe button, and as we answer whether Poltergeist holds its own to this day, why don't you go ahead, click the card above, tell me if you've seen this movie, and go ahead and leave a comment down in the comment section down below. Tell me what your thoughts were of this movie, as I give a big old shout out to the patrons of the channel who help produce these videos. And if voting on future projects and reviews, being rewarded with different perks, or getting behind the scenes access with me sounds exciting, then click on the link above if you enjoy this channel and find out more. Links are also in the description and at the end of the video. The new community of Cuesta Verde in Orange County, California, a community where father Stephen Freeling, place of employment, has built, is the setting of the film. Stephen is a successful real estate developer, and wife Diane is a stay-at-home mother. They have 3 children, Dana, Robbie, and Carol Ann, and the movie starts off portraying the Freelings as if they would be the family living right next door. And a lot of the feeling that they could be the family next door is due to the visual direction, the visual storytelling, and the overall cinematography of this film. This film came out in 1981, and the kids, Robbie and Carol Ann, have a lot back then what would be considered trendy, such as there is a Darth Vader action figure carrying case, which I had, and also a speak and spell, which I had as well. Then there's that clown. I didn't have the clown. Nobody had that clown. No one should have that clown. He was creepy, and he scared me the very first time I saw this film. Side note, the first time that I saw this film, I was a little kid. In fact, this was the very first horror movie that I saw in its entirety, and it creeped me out, something fierce. And speaking of clowns, let me pause for self-promotion. I was the clown puppeteer for the house Poltergeist in Halloween Horror Nights number 28 right here in Orlando, and you can go ahead and click the link above, see a playlist of all the houses and the scare zones that were there at the event. We see the beginning of a storm coming in, and the 2 youngest sleep with their parents because they're scared of the lightning. This is when a ghost hand emerges from the TV set in the master bedroom, and Carol Ann announces in that iconic line, "They're here." Yeah, I'm not doing that line justice, but you get the picture. The next day is when the Freelings start to experience a lighthearted poltergeist activity. You know, furniture moving and silverware bending and the like. However, at night is when their backyard tree comes to life and grabs Robbie, which apparently is a distraction, so Carol Ann gets sucked into a portal that's in her closet. Normally, child actors go ahead and turn me off on a film, especially if it is a horror movie. These young actors, though, did a pretty good job. But the real weight of the film when it comes to acting goes to Craig T. Nelson and Jo Beth Williams, who played Steve and Diane Freeling, respectively. With their strong acting skills and really subtle makeup that kind of paled out their faces and gave them dark circles under their eyes, things like that really enhanced the stress that you could feel for these parents as they're going through this. But there was this one thing that really disturbed me more than anything in this film. Run the clip.
This Diane, my wife, she's 31. 32. I'm sorry. And my oldest daughter, Dana, she's 16.
So let me get this straight. If Diane just turned 32 and Dana, their oldest, is 16, that means that Diane was 16 when she was impregnated with Dana? No, actually, correction. She would have been 15 because she just turned 32 and it takes 9 months for a baby to show up. Man, that is creepy. I haven't been that creeped out since my review of A Nightmare on Elm Street. The narrative of this film has a steady pace from when the parapsychologists show up. That's Dr. Lesh, Ryan, and Marty. Now, they obviously realize that they need help, so they bring in a spiritual medium by the name of Tangina Barons, played by Zelda Rubinstein. Stein? I don't know. Tangina is basically the expositional character of the film that can explain the supernatural events that are occurring in a believable way and names the presence the Beast. Of course, after watching this a few times, I've realized that Tangina is nowhere near as powerful enough as she should be to take on the Beast. Actually, I think she's talking out of her butt sometimes in this movie.
You've never done this before! Neither have you! You're right, you go!
Exactly, or this clip.
This house is clean.
Which of course is followed by this. This house is clean? Clean? Clean my underwear. Wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. Anyways, for someone who is clearly on the job training here like Tangina, she rounds out the characters that are needed for this genre. We have ghosts. We have an innocent family that is being terrorized. We have a little abducted girl that needs to be rescued. We have scientists and we have psychics. And we have the dead rising from the grave.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Yeah, that clip's from another movie. But does this movie transcend through the ages, and does it still hold up after all of these years? And that really depends on what you're talking about. The practical effects? Absolutely. Scenes like the chair stacking, which was done in one take with several crew members switching the scene, or even the kitchen slides are great. The clown? Yep. The special effects like the mantis ghost or the beast itself? Absolutely. However, there are some things in this film that date the movie, and one of them would be the toys. The toys that the kids had were relevant in the 1980s, but now they're kind of collector items instead. And the floating objects were pretty cool special effects in the 80s, but right now they're more of a distraction. And for today's audience and today's taste, the first 20 minutes of the film might seem a little bit slow, but all in all, I think this movie holds up well. A Steven Spielberg story directed by Tobe Hooper and produced by Steven Spielberg? You can't go wrong with that. I've watched this movie numerous times and I recommend it to anyone. And that brings us to the danger zone. This is where I go ahead and I give scores in the different categories that I've been talking about, and I give a finish rating. So let's go ahead and start off with the direction of this film. The direction is near perfection and I give it a 9. The acting I give an 8, and I average that score based on the curve of the acting of the children, but the narrative is a 10. Perfection. This is the perfect ghost story. When it comes to the genre, I give it a 9. I think it holds up against any ghostly horror movie that you watch. And in enjoyment, I give a 9 as well. I have watched this film many times over, so that means the overall rating for this is a 9. Once again, hit that subscribe button and also that bell icon so you become part of the notification squad and you get notified the moment that I upload. And I will see you in the next video.